Imagine waking up one morning and realizing you can't remember where you kept your keys, what you had for dinner last night, or even the name of a close friend. You laugh it off. Maybe I'm just tired. But what if that forgetfulness isn't just aging? What if it's your brain's way of screaming for help, warning you that something much more serious is happening inside? Most seniors think dementia sneaks up out of nowhere. But in reality, your body gives clear early signals. Small, strange changes that appear months or even years before memory loss sets in. Sadly, 8 out of 10 people ignore these red flags until it's too late to reverse the damage. So today, in this video, we're revealing the 11 early dementia symptoms most seniors don't notice until it's too late. And more importantly, how you can spot them early to protect your brain and memory, because understanding these symptoms could literally save your independence, your confidence, and your identity. So, make sure you watch till the end, and don't forget to subscribe to Golden Life Health, where we help you live smarter, stronger, and sharper, no matter your age. The first early dementia symptom is what doctors call subtle confusion. It starts so quietly that most people, and even family members, brush it off. You might enter a room and forget why you came there. You might mix up the days of the week or miss an appointment you've always remembered. This isn't just normal aging. It's your brain struggling to process short-term memory. When brain cells start losing communication pathways, the brain's working memory, the part responsible for holding temporary information, begins to weaken. One classic sign is when seniors start writing notes everywhere, sticky papers on the fridge, reminders on the phone, even repeating the same stories multiple times just to stay organized. That's your mind trying to compensate for something deeper happening beneath the surface. And here's the kicker. This stage can last for months. If you catch it early, studies show you can actually slow or even reverse the process through brain exercises, omega-3 rich foods, and better sleep. The second warning sign of early dementia is trouble finding simple words during normal conversation. You know exactly what you want to say, but suddenly, the word just disappears. You might say the thing you write with, instead of pen, or that place with the food, instead of kitchen. This happens because the brain's language center, especially the temporal and frontal lobes, starts losing its sharpness. It's not about forgetting the word. It's about the connection between thought and language breaking down. What makes this scary is that it happens in intelligent, educated people, too. Many seniors who read daily or stay mentally active can still face these speech lapses, and they often hide them out of embarrassment. If you or someone you know starts pausing mid-sentence or replacing simple words more frequently, don't ignore it. This could be the first sign your brain is losing its mental wiring. This is one of the most overlooked, yet most telling, early dementia symptoms. A senior who was once calm and friendly might suddenly become short-tempered, anxious, or withdrawn. You might feel different inside, like you're losing patience easily or getting frustrated by small things. It's not just stress, it's your brain chemistry shifting. When the frontal lobe, the part that controls emotions and judgment, starts weakening, mood swings appear out of nowhere. You might feel fine one minute and irritated the next, or burst into tears over something small. Even more worrying, family members might notice that your personality seems to be changing. You may no longer enjoy the hobbies or social events you once loved. This happens because dementia slowly blunts the brain's ability to produce dopamine and serotonin, the feel-good chemicals. Experts say these mood changes can appear up to 5 years before memory loss even begins. So if you start feeling not yourself lately, pay attention. It's not in your head. It's in your brain. Have you ever started cooking and forgotten which step comes next? Or struggled to follow a familiar recipe that you've made for years? That's another silent red flag of early dementia, when your brain's executive function begins to fade. This is the part of the brain responsible for organizing, sequencing, and multitasking. So everyday tasks, paying bills, following a schedule, managing medicine, or even cooking a meal, start to feel overwhelming. A senior might begin avoiding tasks altogether, saying, "I'll do it later," because it feels mentally exhausting. But avoiding these small tasks actually makes the brain weaker over time, just like muscles that shrink when you stop using them. If you start noticing confusion in daily planning or time management, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. Simple strategies like structured routines, brain puzzles, and staying physically active can help rebuild neural connections and improve focus. Imagine walking into your own neighborhood, the one you've known for 30 years, and suddenly feeling like something's off. You can't remember which street leads to your house or which turn comes next. That's not normal aging. That's the hippocampus, your brain's memory GPS, starting to malfunction. This symptom is particularly alarming because it shows your brain's spatial memory is weakening. Seniors with early dementia often start avoiding driving or going out alone because they don't trust themselves anymore. Doctors warn that once this stage begins, progression can accelerate if not addressed early. But here's the good news. Engaging your brain with navigation exercises, like puzzles, maps, or walking new routes safely, can help rewire those neural pathways. So if you or a loved one ever feels disoriented in familiar surroundings, take it as your brain's SOS signal. Have you ever noticed someone asking the same question again and again, sometimes within just a few minutes, without remembering they already asked? That's one of the earliest and clearest signs of memory breakdown linked to dementia. Here's what's happening inside the brain. The hippocampus, which handles short-term memory, starts to shrink. This means new information doesn't get saved properly, so the person keeps looping back to the same topic, believing it's the first time they're saying it. You might hear phrases like, "Did you say what time dinner is?" 5 times in 15 minutes. Or they might tell the same story to friends, thinking it's brand new. Families often mistake this for distraction or not paying attention, but it's really the brain struggling to form new memory pathways. If this starts happening, stay patient. Instead of saying, "You already told me that," gently redirect with visual cues or short reminders. These help reinforce memory instead of frustrating the person. We've all had those "it's on the tip of my tongue" moments. But when it happens frequently, it can signal early cognitive decline. People with early dementia often pause mid-sentence, searching for basic words. They might replace simple terms with vague ones, saying "that thing" instead of "the fridge," or "that person from the office" instead of a name. It's not just forgetting, it's the brain's language center, called the temporal lobe, losing connection with stored vocabulary. What's tricky is that this symptom sneaks up slowly. At first, it's only once in a while, but over time, conversations become harder to follow, and reading or writing can start to feel confusing. A helpful tip: reading aloud daily, or even talking to yourself while cooking or walking, helps keep the language circuits active. It's a simple, natural way to train your brain to find the right words faster. Another subtle but powerful warning sign is when someone frequently loses items, keys, glasses, wallet, and later accuses others of moving or stealing them. Here's what's really going on. The brain's ability to track spatial memory, where you last placed an item, begins to fail. So instead of remembering you left your glasses on the table, your mind simply skips that step because the brain can't recall the action. It feels natural to blame someone else. Experts call this confabulation. The brain unconsciously fills in missing details with false memories. If you notice this pattern, it's not stubbornness and it's confusion. Labeling storage spots, like key hooks or boxes, and keeping a visual routine can help retrain your memory system. Remember, the goal isn't to correct, but to support, to make daily life easier and calmer for the person experiencing it. One of the hardest dementia symptoms to spot, especially in the early stages, is a sudden change in judgment. You might see someone start making strange financial choices, giving money to random callers, falling for scams, or buying things they never used to. This happens because dementia slowly affects the frontal lobe, the part of your brain that controls reasoning and decision-making. It's not about greed or carelessness. It's about the brain losing its filter. For example, a once cautious senior suddenly starts driving at night, signing unsafe contracts or trusting strangers. If you notice these shifts, it's not just aging. It's a red flag that the brain's control center is weakening. The key is gentle supervision, not confrontation. Help them set up automatic payments, use spending alerts, or limit access to online accounts. This protects dignity and safety. Another early sign that often goes unnoticed is pulling away from friends, family, or hobbies. At first, it might look like someone's just tired or not in the mood, but in reality, dementia can make social situations confusing or exhausting. They might forget names, lose track of conversations, or feel embarrassed when they can't keep up. So instead of facing that discomfort, they quietly withdraw. But isolation only speeds up memory loss. The brain is like a muscle. It stays strong with interaction, laughter, and purpose. If you or a loved one feels this way, try smaller gatherings, short calls, coffee with one friend, or even listening to a favorite song together. Human connection is one of the most powerful natural therapies against mental decline. Finally, one of the most heartbreaking signs, a shift in personality. Someone gentle becomes irritable. Someone confident becomes fearful. Or someone once outgoing suddenly prefers complete silence. This isn't about attitude. It's biology. Dementia affects the amygdala, the emotional center of the brain, changing how we process stress, love, and trust. So if a loved one seems different, please remember, it's not them. It's the disease. Patience, empathy, and calm surroundings can make a huge difference. Even a soft tone or a smile can reduce confusion and fear. So, my friend, if you noticed any of these 11 early dementia symptoms, even small ones, please don't ignore them. The earlier you act, the more you can protect your brain and independence. Start today. Eat brain-boosting foods. Stay active both physically and mentally. Get enough sleep, keep talking, laughing, and connecting because dementia doesn't have to define your future. Prevention starts with awareness. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to Golden Life Health, where we share simple, science-backed ways to keep your mind sharp and your body strong, no matter your age. Hit that like button, turn on the notification bell, and together let's make your golden years truly golden.